The angel brought Enoch once more to the mountain of vision, and from its summit he looked upon the world, not as it was, but as it would be. And he saw the rise of one called the Elect One, a figure not born of thrones, nor forged in war, but anointed by light itself. And all the kings of the earth were shaken at his coming. They gathered in council, thinking to resist, but their words scattered like chaff in the wind. For this was not a ruler they could bribe or silence. And the angel said, "This is the one promised from the beginning, the one hidden in the shadow of the Most High, and revealed when the time is full. His words will not need armies, for truth is its own weapon." And Enoch saw the thrones of power overturned, not by violence, but by exposure. What was hidden beneath stone and scepter was brought into light, and the deeds of nations were read aloud before the stars. Phrase as each word echoes across the land. And then he saw the judgment, the great day, when the heavens would open like a scroll, and the book of truth would no longer be sealed, not with thunder, not with flood, but with clarity. The righteous rejoiced, not because others fell, but because truth stood. And the unjust wept, not from punishment, but from the weight of their own reflection. And Enoch asked, "Who shall stand in that day?" And the angel replied, "Those who sought not greatness, but grace, those who remembered the stars when the world forgot them." And so began the final vision, the day when the mountains would melt like wax, and the sky would pour down understanding like rain, not to destroy, but to cleanse, to make ready the world for the return of balance. And the angel showed Enoch a valley deep and wide, a gathering place for the righteous, those who had suffered in silence, those whose names had been forgotten by men, but remembered by heaven. And they came from deserts, from ruins, from shadowed corners of the earth. The elect one stood among them. He did not command them, he welcomed them. And he spoke not of wrath, but of remembering. And their hearts burned, not from fear, but from awakening. And Enoch saw the great scrolls opened, not the scrolls of kings, not the scrolls of war, but the scrolls of the meek, deeds done in silence, kindnesses unrecorded, sacrifices unseen. And the heavens read them aloud. Then the angel pointed to the edge of the deep, and Enoch saw the watchers stir. Buried beneath stone, bound in shadow, their eyes opened once more, not with rebellion, but with regret, for their children had vanished. Their cities turned to ash, their knowledge twisted beyond use. And now, they watched, as the world healed without them, their legacy undone. And Enoch asked, "Will they be forgiven?" But the angel did not answer. Only the wind moved. And in that silence, the truth was louder than any word. Then Enoch saw the heavens grow dark, not from wrath, but from gathering, for the stars were preparing to descend. Not as angels, but as witnesses. The day was near, and the angel whispered, "It will not be as it was. This time, the world will not forget. This time, the words will remain." And Enoch wept, not for sorrow, but for the weight of what must come. Then Enoch looked again, and the heavens were no longer still. The sky folded in on itself like cloth drawn back from a hidden painting, and behind it stood fire, not of destruction, but of unveiling. The great day had begun. Thrones descended, not made by men, but formed from time itself. Thrones for those who had no place on earth, but found their place in the record of heaven. The meek, the broken, the faithful, and the elect one stood at the center of the sky. No sword, no army, only a book. And as he opened it, the air itself quieted. Every wing, every whisper, stilled. For the names written within were the song of creation, and the scrolls of the wicked were unrolled, not with vengeance, but with light. Every falsehood faded. Every hidden thing came forward, not to shame, but to reveal. And the watchers looked on, their eyes dim, their chains still bound, and they saw what could have been. A world they were meant to guide, but instead corrupted. And the elect one spoke, "Justice is not revenge. Judgment is not wrath. It is the end of forgetting. It is the return of memory to all things." Then the earth itself responded. Mountains bowed, rivers sang. The wind carried the names of the redeemed like petals on the sea. Nature, too, was remembering. And Enoch wept once more. For this was what he had waited to see. Not the fall of the wicked, but the return of truth. The great day was not a fire that destroyed, but a fire that clarified. And in that fire, the world was reborn. Then Enoch saw a valley divided by an unseen line. On one side, light, still and steady. On the other, fog, moving without direction. And the angel said, "Now begins the separation, not by force, but by recognition." And the people stepped forward. Some walked toward the light, not because they were pure, but because they remembered. Others turned from it, not because they were evil, but because they could not bear the reflection. The light did not pull them, the darkness did not chase them. Each soul followed the thread of its own truth, and the earth watched, silent, still, sacred. And the elect one knelt upon the ground, not to rule, but to feel. His hands touched the dust, and from that dust, the names of the forgotten rose like breath. And he wept, not for judgment, but for what had been lost, what could have been, what was stolen by time, by lies, by forgetting. Then the voice of the angel rose again. "Do not mourn what has passed, for all things are being made new. Even memory will bloom again." And Enoch beheld the book of life closed once more, not because the story had ended, but because it was now inside them, no longer written on scrolls, but etched upon the heart. And the angel said, "The time of witnessing is complete. What comes now is choice." And the world stood on the threshold, neither ending nor beginning, but becoming. Then Enoch saw the threshold tremble, not from fear, but from fulfillment. The earth and the heavens, long parted by shadow and distance, now leaned toward one another like old friends, remembering. And a bridge appeared, not of stone, not of wood, but of memory. Each plank a promise kept, each beam a name remembered, each step a reconciliation. The elect one stood at its center, not leading, not following, simply present, a still point between the world that was and the world to come. Then the stars descended in full, not falling, but arriving. They took form, not as angels or beings of fire, but as kin. They looked like us, because we had finally remembered. what we were always meant to be. There were no trumpets, no declarations, only reunion, one soul to another, one breath shared across the veil. Heaven and earth were no longer two, and Enoch stood apart, watching it all, not as a prophet, not as a judge, but as a witness, the first and the last. And the angel asked, "Do you see, Enoch? This was always the ending and the beginning, not punishment, not exile, but return." And Enoch answered not with words, but by placing his hand over his heart. For no word was needed. He had seen the world restored. Then Enoch looked upon the earth, and it was no longer the same. Mountains that once stood in defiance now bowed in gentleness. Rivers flowed not with force, but with clarity, and the air itself shimmered, as if newly born. And the people, they were changed too, not in body, but in gaze. They looked upon one another, as if seeing for the first time. No name, no tribe, no title, only soul. The cities did not rise again. The temples were not rebuilt. For truth needs no tower. It lives in the space between hearts. And in that space, the new world took root, and Enoch was taken once more to the edge of the stars, where time and space fell away like garments. And there, he saw the scroll that had no end, a book without a final page, for its story was now alive. And the angel spoke one final time. This is the age that was promised, not made by gods, but remembered by those who dared to see. And now, Enoch, you are released. And Enoch smiled, not because it was over, but because it would never truly end. For every child who dreamed, every seeker who listened, would find the story again, in the wind, in the stars, in themselves. And so the watcher became not a judge, but a guide, his name written not in stone, but in memory. In every whisper of justice, every act of courage, every step toward light. And the Book of Enoch closed itself once more, not with sorrow, not with finality, but with a single breath returned to the stars. This is not a story of the past. This is not a myth. It is a remembrance, a mirror, a map, hidden in plain sight, waiting for those who dare to remember what they are. For every age has watchers, not just from above, but among us, the ones who feel the pull to seek, the ones who cannot look away from injustice, the ones who dream of more. They are not separate from Enoch's tale. They are its continuation. And though the scroll may be sealed, its echoes remain. In the wind that moves the leaves, in the rhythm of waves on the shore, in the silence between two heartbeats. These are the pages now. These are the new scriptures. So ask yourself, what do you remember that you were told to forget? What dreams visit you in the moments before waking? What truth burns quietly beneath the surface of your ordinary days? Enoch's story is not locked in time. It walks beside you. It breathes with you. You are not separate from the watchers, from the stars, from the return you have always known. You've simply forgotten how to listen. Listen again to the sky, to the wind, to the silence. The book is not closed. It is inside you now, and when the day comes, when the sky once again unfolds and the watchers return, you will not be afraid. You will remember. You were always one of them, and when they ask you who you are, You will not speak a name. You will speak a truth older than words. I am a spark from the book. I am the memory that returns. The Book of Enoch was never lost. It was buried, not in the ground, but beneath distraction, denial, division. And now, in an age of noise, its voice returns, like a whisper through stone. It speaks not of religion, but of remembrance. Not of fear, but of return. It does not demand belief, it invites vision. The vision to see beyond time. In the days of Enoch, the world was loud with corruption, and yet he listened, in silence, in vision, in faith. Not blind faith, but clear sight into what others refused to see. And so the scroll was given, the watchers warned, the judgment seen, the future revealed. But most of all, the seed was planted in you. You are the reader now, not of paper, but of patterns, of dreams, of symbols, of synchronicities that defy logic but stir the soul. These are your signs. You have always been reading, and what you do with that vision is your part of the story. Not all will hear it, not all will understand, but that has never mattered. For light does not need to convince, it only needs to shine. So rise, seeker of the forgotten. Step into the ancient dream that is becoming new again. The Book of Enoch is not behind you. It is ahead, waiting to be lived. And when they ask who sent you, say nothing. Let your eyes carry the truth. Let your life be the scroll. Let your presence speak the memory. For you are not alone, and you never were.